on the show. Yeah. Today we're sticking with us. Yeah. Old and the new. And the new. And we have a great topic today. And,
yeah.
My host is going to lead off in this topic. We want to talk about bondage, relationships and friendships, and liberty.
Yes. It's very, very important for us to be, in freedom. Because again, we are here to be free. God gave us the spirit of liberty. Amen?
Yes.
And, it comes a time where sometimes you don't realize that you have certain cares and certain issues going on, and you don't realize that it really takes effect on your life. And basically what we were talking about is 2009 to 2010, I see that God has basically closed a lot of doors and has opened a lot of doors. And just out of acts of simple obedience,
yes,
that plays a factor in, God working out things and freeing you in your life.
Yes.
So leaving things behind, 2009,
yes.
2010, you find yourself transitioning. And I know that sometimes it may have a lot to do with our age.
Yes.
Or it might just have a lot to do with our experience.
Yes.
And what I love about it is sometimes they say experience is the best teacher, but I feel like sometimes your simple failures
yes.
are the best teachers.
Yes.
And learning from your mistakes. And we're going to talk about the bondage of friendships right now.
Yes.
And, I know some people who, I am telling you from experience, you get so caught up in what other people think and how they feel till you lose yourself.
Yes.
And you misfocus on what your purpose is and what everything is about.
Yes.
And what God has planned for you in your life. And sometimes when you get in a friendship, if you find that the friendship is overbearing,
yes,
and if you don't have like some type of freedom to say what you want,
yes,
or to be you,
yes,
just simple things like that. How do you feel about that?
I feel that you should never lose your identity in a friendship. If you're in a friendship and it causes you to lose your identity, or your thought pattern, or how you feel about things, then it's time to move on. Because a friendship is not about control. I have learned that it's good to agree to disagree. Also, I don't want to be a jack in anybody's box. I have never allowed anyone to put me in the box and wind me up that I may pop out at their appointed time. And I think a friendship is, we can be different, but we can still be friends. And everything that you say does not validate who I am. Okay, that's your opinion and this is my opinion. If I got to give up all of who I am, I got to change my character, I got to be like you, act like you, walk like you, talk like you, I don't think that's a good friendship. Because there should be something different about the both of us. Our character should be different, our actions should be different. I mean, we're going to have some similarities, but if I got to give up everything just to walk with you, then maybe we need to really evaluate our friendship.
That's right. And, sometimes you don't realize it, but there's an amount of what is called, and adults have it too, peer pressure.
Yes.
There is, yes. Peer pressure. And adults have it too. It's not just the teenagers. Adults have it too. And, I see this from time to time. And not only that, but I'm a witness to it.
Yes.
You get pressure from your peers
yes.
to be a certain way. And when I say that, it's a silent pressure that is applied. And you feel that pressure when you feel that there's something in you that you want to be different, because we're all individuals.
Yes.
And we all have a different characteristic about us. Now,
yes.
again, as you said earlier,
yes.
we might have a lot of similarities, but we also have many differences.
Yes.
And a true friend will respect that difference about you and will embrace and love that difference about you, because it's a funny thing, because what is my different, she loves and embraces, and what is her different, I love and embrace, and it's like a match made in heaven.
Yes.
Because opposites attract.
Yes.
I like different stuff. I'm just different.
Yeah.
And she loves that.
Yeah,
and I love everything she has.
That's
and then some. Whatever new, whatever. I just love who she is. and you have that pressure because you find that because you notice that whoever your friend is or associate is, you find that because they see something different about you and it might not quite fit right with them, you find yourself trying to adjust and transform into that individual that they portray and want you to be. And that is a form of bondage, a form of control.
That is control and manipulation.
Oh, yes, it is.
And this is not the time to be manipulated by anybody.
No.
And I found that, right, I'm a Christian now, but I have experienced both arenas, whereas I was not a Christian and now I'm a Christian. And I find on both sides, people always want you to choose who you're going to be and how you're going to act. But if you're my friend, you're my friend. Now, first off, you got to define if that's really your friend or if that's just an associate. Because if it's a friend, through your good, your bad, your nasty, your friend will understand it, but an associate won't. And it's time out for allowing people to tell you what you should do, how you should live, how you should act, where you should be, and who you should be with. It's your choice. And it's so funny because myself and my younger sister, which is Yolanda Lassane, we were chatting today on Facebook, and she is one of my favorite sisters. We don't see each other that much, but she's my baby sister. And she owns a shop, and we were just talking about, she said that she's cautious with people. She said, you know, I act funny. I said, no, you don't act funny, you're just cautious. And it's your choice who you allow in your circle. If you don't want them in your circle, it's your choice. They don't have to be in your circle. We owe no man anything but to love them. And as long as I love you, that's right. I don't have to be with you 24 hours a day. I don't have to talk on the phone. That does not validate my friendship with you. Because you call me every day, that doesn't validate that you're my friend.
Which I think with the calling every day. Now, I might send a text, or it depends on what's going on. Because sometimes I might talk to you every other day. Then sometimes I might not. But we understand that. But there is sometimes there's a situation where I've seen where if a phone call or two is not made after a certain amount of time, then that individual gets upset. And that to me, speaking of friends, you have friends and you have associates. And in the beginning, sometimes you just know if that's your friend.
You know.
But sometimes you, as just being in wisdom and mature, what you have to do is you have to put that person as an associate until you see that they are worthy enough, and also if you're worthy enough, withstanding to be in a good friendship with them, because you have to have chemistry with that individual.
That's right. Oh, it's
spiritual
important.
and natural. You do. You have to have a chemistry with that individual, because if you don't, then it's going to be an off balance somewhere. And you know, speaking of that, if you find yourself where you are with the individual and they are your friend, and you find that the individual is upset because you have other friends.
Oh, God.
There is a problem. There is a huge control problem with that issue. We are all people.
That's right.
And we are all human.
Yes.
And there is all a big circle of love. Well, it should be.
Yes.
So you sometimes have your friends and y'all do things. I'm not going to get upset with that.
That's right.
I have other associates and friends that I do things with. She's not going to get upset with that. And then sometimes we come together. Sometimes I have associates she knows, vice versa. But we know who we are in our friendship.
That's right.
We know where we stand in our friendship.
It's important.
Do you understand me?
Yes.
And you have to understand who you are. Not only in the friendship, but who you are as a human being.
That's right.
And you have to give that other person respect.
That's the word.
As a human being as well.
Respect.
You know, and you just have to, it's a line between associate and friend. And again, sometimes you have to have that, you know, discernment. To see, is it an associate or is it a friend?
And you have to keep everything in perspective. And when we come back, we'll talk about putting everything in perspective.
We'll be right back.